Now, when we're eating food, we've got to chew it. Like I'm saying, just because you're hungry and you eat food, by putting food into your body and just swallowing it down your throat, into your digestive system, that doesn't mean you're not going to be hungry anymore. Because what makes it so your body's not hungry anymore, for a time, is your body's got enough fuel in it that it's pulling, extracting, and utilizing the nutrients, the energy, the calories from. If your body can't do that properly, it doesn't matter how much food you put in your body, it's just going to pass through your body if it can't be used. And so the thing with keeping the digestive system flowing naturally, though, specifically for this video's title, on the 7th of May 2026, is if we don't fully chew our food, I mean, really, we can picture it as if we just took food and we ground it up with our hands really small before we swallowed it. Or even like a blender, our man-made machineries, blenders. You blended all your food up into like a smoothie, you know, almost a liquid. That's actually how your body's going to fully utilize any food you ever eat. Because the body doesn't gain energy by breaking down the food. The body just has to break down the food to get the energy from it. The food's just full of energy, but it's inside of the food, and you've got to get to the energy. You got a big chunk of food. You can't get to the energy on the inside of the food until you break down the chunk of food to smaller chunks of food. So if we blended up or just ground up or just, made all of our food very small before we ate it, everything we ever ate, that's how our body would be able to fully utilize what we eat. That's why we chew food. You'd never have to chew food, really, if you just ground it up before you put it into your mouth. You don't have to use your teeth. You wouldn't have to. And then it'll flow through your digestive system. Really as ideal as we could have it be if we grind it down as small as we could get it. And so that's what I'm saying is keeping the digestive system flowing naturally. This video's title, 7th of May 2026, in the Image Clothing Company's main side. If you try to get all these man-made supplemental things and put them into your body to try to get your digestive system to flow better, but then you're just taking food and throwing it into your mouth and swallowing it after barely chewing it, just scarfing food down, shoving food into your face. I mean, let's get real about it. Food's just fuel, but the fuel has to be refined. Just like if we've got these man-made machines that run on certain fuel, this fuel has gone through a process to become what it is, and it's gone through a refining process to make it something that the machinery can utilize to power the machine. It's the same thing with the human being. It's the exact same thing. In all truth, the human body is just a mechanical machine. It's just something that God gave us to take us across this earth with. It's just got to be fueled. We have to refine our fuel for our bodies to use it proper. So we have to chew our food like very, and however many varies you want to say, very thoroughly. You have to chew your food. You have to chew your food very thoroughly, or just throw it all in a blender, or just mash it all up between some rocks. You know, like those stone bowls with the little stone thing. I don't know what the word is for it right now, but you know, that they used to use. You know, more primitive tool type stuff than we have in modern 2026 to grind down like wheat, for example, or whatever it was, you know, corn, anything at all. It's the same thing as putting something in a blender and blending it up, but it's the same thing as chewing it between your top and bottom teeth. Just using the hinge joint of your lower jawbone, called the mandible, connecting in front of your ears here, coming down and forward, becoming your chin, where your lower teeth connect into. We put a lot of focus on the jaw under In the Image Clothing Company. I mentioned earlier keeping collars centered and the importance of snug collars, but you know, not only are those video titles under In the Image Clothing Company's main side and just huge focuses in daily life, the jaw plays into speaking, eating, and breathing, as well as stabilizing the entire body. And the lower jawbone is just a hinge so that we can mash food down, grind food down, crush food down, essentially blend food down, like a blender would do, into as small pieces as we possibly could. Otherwise, you'll never do anything else to try to get your digestive system to flow naturally, right? And notice the titling as well of this video. We title things very intentionally under In the Image Clothing Company, keeping the digestive system flowing naturally. It's not any kind of thing like how to get blank. You'll never get anything to happen with the human being. It only does what it does. The heart beats for itself, the lungs breathe for themselves, the eyes blink for themselves and by themselves. The body will heal itself if it gets cut. This is God, the one who designed the body, who's just doing all of these things even when we're asleep. You know, we're still breathing and blinking our eyes and things like this. Digestion is still happening while we're asleep. So we can't get the digestive system to flow better. We can only allow the body to work that God designed, this human being we have. And so this video's title is very intentional, keeping the digestive system flowing naturally. It just does, it just will, as long as we introduce food to the body properly. We allow the body to stay in a centered, neutral position, just determined by the shape and length of the bones connecting, no possible opinion to it. And yeah, you know, all the things that it comes to being when we discuss allowing the body to work under In the Image Clothing Company. You know, I mean, the deeper you dive into what we do here under In the Image Clothing Company, the more understanding you'll have that there's no possible approach. And we have no opinion or approach here. We have no sales pitch. We'll always sell good clothing because it's the only thing physically placed on our bodies. And so it will be do everything clothing, staying centered, fitting correct, and being made in all the ways we can from 100% natural materials at the baseline. You know, brandless on the exterior, light, simple clothing, right? Just to allow the body to work. But when we discuss everything we do with the human body, not that we're ever going to say anything perfect, because we're imperfect human beings who need to rely on a perfect God, Jesus Christ. That's why it's set up the way it is, right? Because he's perfect and we're not. But we really know what we're discussing here under In the Image Clothing Company, and with our way of explaining it, I could say with our approach, but it's not that it's an approach, it's just the only end is to allow God's design of the human being to work. Yeah, the more you dive into what we really are doing here, you'll see that there's no other possible option. It's a universal thing. It's impossible to get the human being to do anything. It only does what it does or it dies. You know, it only breathes how it does or we stop breathing. It only beats its heart how it does or it stops beating. It only digests food how it does or it doesn't. We die if we don't fuel the body. That's it. Truly. So, you know, I mean, sometimes we have to step in and help the body, trying to get it back to the only way it works. But just like we get out of chronic patterning here under In the Image Clothing Company, physical mechanical workings of the body being restricted and inhibited by the only thing physically placed on it, the literal word of clothing the human being with anything for potentially years and almost an entire lifetime, if we just have to break up things like scar tissue and bone spurs built up in the body, especially in this right-handed world, because damage happens to the body over time. Well, anyway, the digestive system, it's just one of the systems of the body. It's just fueling the body so it can work. And with the digestive system, we just have to have our food be broken down as small as we really basically possibly could to have it flow the best, to keep the body just flowing at the digestive system's level.